Welcome to Fire Engineering Training Minutes. I'm Nick Martin, and today we're going to talk about advancing an attack line through the structure and managing our hose line on the various obstacles that we're going to encounter. In this situation here, we're going to have already stretched our attack line from the rig to the entrance to the structure. Our crew is going to be in place, and we're going to be focusing on how we move this charged hose line through the structure. In a previous video, we already talked about the techniques that we use to get this line flaked out in advance so that the way we flake it out contributes to an easy stretch. So let's go in and take a look. All right, now we've got our line stretched to the door and we're ready to move it through the house towards our fire area. So as the guys come through the door, the first turn that we're gonna have to manage here is right here at the doorway. Our nozzle firefighter is gonna move right past. Our backup firefighter, our officer, is gonna bring a little bit of hose, and then he's gonna quickly move up to manage the next obstacle. Now, one of the things we talk about a lot when moving hose is making loops. So our backup firefighter here is gonna make one of those loops. But one of the things I want to show here is this line actually has a low pressure nozzle on it. It's got a smooth bore. So when we build our loop and we roll it in here, the loop is going to be real good for rolling. But if we leave that loop in a vertical position anywhere, because of the lower pump discharge pressure, it's gonna start to kink up. So if we leave the line there for 1 second, so if we flip our loop here, you can see we built one of those loops. With a regular combination nozzle, the higher pump pressure, this thing will stand up against the wall. It's real nice. But see, this is a smooth bore with a lower pressure. So when I let that go, that has a tendency to collapse, and you see that collapse begins to form kinks. That's no good. So I mean, it's great for moving the hose. We can roll that loop just fine, but we don't want to leave those in a vertical position. So now when he's managing this obstacle, he's not just going to stay there on the corner. He's going to move that line back and forth. He's going to go out. He's going to get some, he's going to bring it around the obstacle, move it in the direction that we're needed as these guys are moving the line, and he's going to keep doing that until either there's no more line behind him or the guys have pulled enough line to get to their fire area. And once either of those has happened, he's going to move on up to the next obstacle and start to relieve the backup guy up there, and we're going to play a little bit kind of leapfrog with our backup firefighters. So as our hose team is moving the line, you can see our driver's being very proactive here. He's still close to be near the pump panel if he needs to do anything there, but we got minimal manpower on the scene initially, so he's going to help move that line between the rig and the door. He's not in full PPE, so he can't come across the threshold or anything, but he can move a lot of that line across the lawn and kind of feed it to that backup firefighter at the front door and allow him to move up and make that stretch a little faster and easier. All right, so we see our hose teams moving in, our nozzle firefighter is moving past the second obstacle, and that second obstacle is actually going to be where our officer is going to stop and take care of that while our backup firefighter is still working the door. So now our nozzle firefighter knows that he's going to need to get up these stairs, so instead of just making a hard left to go up the stairs, what he's going to do is take that line maybe 10 or 15 feet into that kitchen there so that he can make that turn and go up the stairs and know that he's got enough hose to shoot the stairs in one quick movement without getting jammed up wanting more hose. So now our backup firefighter is moving up from the door. He's got enough line in from the door that our officer can now move up, and he had a tough job. The officer was managing these two obstacles here, the door and the stairs. The officer can now move up and manage the stairs as the nozzle firefighter goes up, and our backup firefighter has moved in here to take this corner here. So now we got the two guys working the 280-degree turns here. Our nozzle firefighter is moving up the stairs. The officer's feeding them some line. And as we've got enough line in here, the officer can now move up the stairs behind the nozzle firefighter, and our backup firefighter can leapfrog up and now begin to manage the turn that the officer was previously managing. So you see that here with our coordination, we're kind of leapfrogging these obstacles. And the two guys that are working the hardest are the officer, who is kind of a backup firefighter, and the backup firefighter. The nozzle guy should not be working hard. He should have a smooth shot. He should never be wanting for more line. And this poor guy here on the backup is exhausting himself leapfrogging these obstacles. If he needs to go back into the family room now to get more line, he can go back in the family room and get more line, and he's going to keep moving that line up. Our goal here is to make sure that we don't flood the nozzle firefighter with line, but that the nozzle firefighter is never hung up in a position wanting more line and not having it. Okay, so in advancing our attack line, there's three phases. We got to get the line off the rig into the door. then we got to move it through our structure and get it to the fire room, and then there's the fire room operations, putting out the fire. Now, the fire room operations are the most exciting. Everybody wants to be on the pipe, putting the fire out. But let's get it very clear that proper work in the first two steps, getting it flaked out to the door and moving it through the structure, doing that properly is what enables the nozzle firefighter to do their job. The nozzle firefighter will fail every time if they don't have good backup crews. So what we focused on here is those backup firefighters working hard, moving that line around the obstacles, and we saw that that line was always moving. Our nozzle firefighter was never wanting for hose line. That's a lot of work. It takes a lot of planning and practice and teamwork to leapfrog those obstacles. But when we do it right, it gets done quickly, the fire goes out quickly and safely. So thanks for watching Fire Engineering Training Minutes. I'm Nick Martin.